Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Starflames. If it's your first time here, be sure to go ahead, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and join the family. So in this video, I want to talk about the George Floyd case. So it seems as though George Floyd family will be getting a $27 million settlement. And just to go back on the story a bit, and this might be very sensitive to some persons. So if you are sensitive and if this will affect you negatively, now is a good time to back out of this video, because I'll be recalling the situation a little bit, because we should always be aware of what happened and use that to guide us going forward. And we should always love and support our Black brothers and sisters, especially knowing how much we have gone through and the fight is still not over. So when I say the fight is still not over, you know that we still have racism dealing with. Now, for me personally, I haven't experienced racism living in Jamaica, but for sure, I have experienced classism, and classism is just as bad as racism. They share some amount of similarities, but classism hasn't led to so much hate nor violence. So without further ado, let's get into the video regarding George Floyd. So if you can recall, it happened on May 25th of 2020. After George Floyd went into a convenience store to buy a pack of cigarettes. He was the convenience store attendant called the police because what they stated is that George Floyd tried to buy a pack of cigarettes with a counterfeit $20 note, and it's alleged that the store attendant was just basically following protocols. Now, after the police was called, which is the Minneapolis police, 4 police officers arrived on the scene. However, what could be seen is the fact that Mr. Floyd was arrested and he was placed face down on the ground by Derek Chauvin, right? And Derek Chauvin is the officer who was most clearly seen in the video footage pinning Mr. Floyd to the ground. Now, since that video was circulated, there were a lot of rally, campaign, protests worldwide. The major protest was in Minneapolis, but it's flared up across the United States, where buildings were vandalized, other persons lost their lives, and the protests include celebrities, people from all walks of life. There was protests here in Jamaica as well, peaceful protests at the U.S. Embassy. There was protests in England. It was worldwide. The George Floyd death caught worldwide attention. Now, the day after Mr. Floyd's death, the police department fired all 4 of the officers involved in the video. So on May 29th of 2020, the Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman announced 3rd-degree murder and a 2nd-degree manslaughter charges against Derek Chauvin. And that's the officer, the white officer that was most clearly seen in the video again, pinning George Floyd to the ground. This is a white male officer, and there were also contradictions around the time lapse of the how long he had his knee in Mr. Floyd's neck. So one time lapse reported it to be 8 minutes and 15 seconds, according to the Times analyst. So after that, on June 3rd, the Hennepin County prosecutor added a more serious 2nd-degree murder charge against Mr. Chauvin, and also charged each of the 3 former officers, Thomas Lane, J. Alexander, and Tahoe with aiding and abetting to second-degree murder. So on June 18th, the Hennepin County Attorney Officer said that its criminal complaint misstated the amount of time Mr. Chauvin kept his neck on Mr. Floyd. The complainant originally said that Mr. Chauvin has done so for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, a length of time that became a symbol, and all of that is what really led to the protest and the rallying. And there was also other analysts who revised the time and said that the time lapse was incorrect. So there was a lot of controversy around the time lapse. However, the main thing about it is that it didn't matter about the time lapse. What really mattered was the fact that led to Mr. Floyd's death, and the family sued for wrongful death. The attorney knew that they have a great case, so they took it to court, and now George Floyd family settles in suit against Minneapolis for $27 million. As you guys remember the famous slogan, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe." And now since then, foot in their neck has become a sensitive statement that some persons really don't appreciate hearing anyone saying or making any comments about foot in their neck. But I'm really happy that there is a settlement, even though this cannot bring back George Floyd, but at least his kids will definitely have something. And I definitely hope that they use this money wisely to help and support his kids. In my opinion, I believe that they should donate a portion of this money, at least $1 million, towards Black youth development, because that would help to send a stronger message that it's not just about the money, but it's never okay for you to take someone's life. While you are the law, being the law doesn't give you the license to just take someone's life like that. It doesn't matter who George Floyd was. It doesn't matter what he was about. He's a person, and the proper protocol should have been followed. But George Floyd died right there on the spot because of wanting to buy cigarettes and because of a counterfeit or an alleged counterfeit $20 note. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that the family is deserving of this settlement? And what would you like to see them doing with this $27 million settlement? So be sure to leave a comment. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to go ahead and subscribe. Turn on your notification bell. Join the family and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Thanks for your time and your energy. Stay safe out there. Bye, guys.